In this book, Rethink Your Self, I contrast three ways of looking at life, and they're really three different approaches that have a difference of priority. The first is the most common sense way, the most prevalent understanding of the world that you see in our country today, and that is that first you look in to define yourself, to discover yourself, to see what your deepest desires are. Then you look around to others to receive affirmation for the you that you've presented to others, that you have decided is true of you. And then if you're looking for some kind of a spiritual dimension for your life, then you may look up and you may find some religious practices, or you may have a belief in God or something that will add a spiritual dimension to your life. So in terms of priority, for most people in the West today, it starts with looking in, then looking around, then looking up. What's interesting is that that is not the way that most people throughout history have looked at the world or the purpose of life, and it's not even the way that many people across the world even today look at the purpose of life. What it passes for common sense for us isn't common sense for everyone. There's another approach, and that starts with looking around. The priority is that you look around to the community to define you, to tell you who you are, to tell you what your role in life is to be. Then you look up to a sacred order that is going to sort of hold all of these things together. And then in the space you have left, then you can look in and maybe have some freedom to pursue some of your own desires that don't conflict with the look around the community's approach to your way of life. So I call that the look around approach. So you have the look in approach first, look in first, then around, then up. Then you have the look around approach, which is that you look around and then up and then in. But neither one of those ways brings satisfaction and true fulfillment. The ancient wisdom of the Bible would have us look at this a third way, a different way, and it changes the priorities completely. First, you begin by looking up. You look up to God, to His Word, to see who He has defined you to be. You look up to see Him and His desires for your life, and as you bring your desires into line with His desires, then you discover who He has called you to be. Next, you look around to the community of faith that corrects you and cheers you on and helps you through, as the community helps you solidify your individuality as you are seeking to follow God. And then lastly, you look in, and as you look in, you discover the truest self that you could possibly be, the person that God has always intended you to be. It starts with looking up, then looking around, then looking in. God first, others second, you third. And even though that looks backwards for many people in our world today, it is the counterintuitive, countercultural path toward true freedom and toward finding the best version of yourself that God has created you to be.